Well, the numbers are pretty astounding. Government says more than 100,000 firms have already applied for help. That support should come from the Unemployment Insurance Fund. But here's the thing, millions of workers simply are not covered. Let's explore the implications. Our reporter Michael Marillier joining us now in studio with more. So, Mike, one study suggesting that nearly 8 million workers are not part of the UIF. That's a large number, and it's a large number of households.
Absolutely. So that study was conducted by UCT researchers, suggesting that around about 45% of all workers in South Africa don't actually fall under the UIF, Shahan. But we're going to focus on another study conducted by Good Governance Africa, and this really draws on research from the last 2 or 3 years, Shahan, basically looking at vulnerable communities and where they actually draw their money, because that will have implications for their survival during the lockdown. Let's focus very quickly on the numbers, and here they actually are, Shahan, looking at the sources of income, the livelihoods of people in vulnerable communities. This was from 9 communities or 9 municipalities across South Africa in 5 different provinces. 25% of people saying that they were employed, in other words, they worked for someone. Around about 20% getting grants. Another 10% drawing a pension, Shahan, on a monthly basis. And then around about another 10% or so getting donations or remittances, perhaps a family member helping them out. And this is the key figure here, Shahan. Almost a third of people saying that they were either self-employed or they survived as informal traders, perhaps making sales on an ad hoc basis. Those are the types of people who typically would not fall under the umbrella of the UIF. There is a silver lining, though, Shahan. Government saying that it will try to find a way to get funds to these people outside of the UIF. We're hoping to get more details on that later this week.
You know, of course, if you can't earn an income, you have to rely on savings. But the reality is that's not possible in these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's actually take a look at the kind of figures that are coming through when it comes to income, Shahan. And these really are quite shocking. Take a look at this. In terms of these 9 municipalities where the study was conducted, around about 63% of people earned less than 2,300 Rand. That's that big blue bar on the left-hand side of the graph. About 20% earning between 2,300 and 5,000, and a fraction, Shahan, earning more than 10,000 Rand on a monthly basis. So you can deduce from that, really difficult to save any sort of money. There wouldn't have been much cushion for them going into this lockdown. And I want to put it in terms of rands and cents, and we'll actually see on our screen how much people are actually earning in terms of the actual money notes. Let's bring that up very quickly. 2,300 Rand, Shahan. There it is right there on your screen. That's 20 100 Rand notes and 6 50 Rand notes. You know, a lot of middle-class people could spend that on a good dinner. These communities are having to survive for an entire month feeding their families.
Yeah, it is shocking. Now, government, of course, issuing some relief measures, social grants going up a little bit. How much of a relief is that in the short term?
Of course, that will help, particularly if you have children, for instance. The child support grant is going up over the next few months, Shahan. But the key thing to remember is that a lot of households in South Africa are quite big. So they might rely on that child support grant, but they'll also rely on an income from a primary breadwinner. So let's focus very quickly on that, and we'll just give you a sense of the kind of pressure that households are actually experiencing in South Africa. And again, this is a study by GGA. That study finding that more than 40% of households in these communities feature 5 or more people. So these are substantial families, and of course that means more mouths to feed. And if you add it all up, Shahan, it's around about 59% of homes have at least 4 people. And of course, a single breadwinner who can't operate under lockdown will really struggle to put food on the table. And that's really something that government's going to have to look at. It's not just tax relief for the big corporates. It's not just those small businesses. It's really the people on the ground who they have to look after.
Yeah, this lockdown has definitely showed and exposed our inequalities in South Africa. We'll leave it right there. Michael Marillier.